Josh Allen. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. Yeah. Yo, what's up, everybody? Back at it for Too Much Fantasy Football. Brian and Brendan here to recap Week 14. You in the playoffs? You looking for a Monday Night Magic, or are you sitting on the bench the rest of the way home? How are we doing today, man?
Josh Allen did save me in a few dynasty leagues, so I'm really, really excited. Great white hope, keep my hopes up.
Absolutely. Yeah, between him and Puka, like just carrying people into next week, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we got quite a bit of fun to talk about. We're going to see if we can get the whole NFC West in this one right here. Let's start with that one, of course. The Bills and the Rams. Bills 10-3 now. Rams 7-6, right there behind the Seahawks for the division. 44-22. Incredible performance.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the Rams because obviously we're going to start with, Josh Allen and his amazingness. But, Matt Stafford had a day, 300-plus yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams, 2 touchdowns. Puka Nacua with 12 receptions, 162 yards and a touchdown. And then Cooper Kupp, 92 yards and a touchdown. The main guys who told you to start, they started. They did great.
That toe tapper by Nacua, man. Oh, my God.
That gave me vibes of Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what exactly reminded when I saw that. I was sitting with my buddies, a Packers fan. I was like, that's just Jordy Nelson vibes right there.
100%. Yeah, it's going to continue the rest of the playoffs for these. 31 touches for Kyron. That's, whew.
I mean, that's what you want. I mean, Blake Corum only had he had 8 carries. I mean, but still, it's Kyron's world. Blake's just living in it until something happens to Kyron. I don't even want to, do you really want to still roster him?
Blake Corum?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point in the playoffs, yeah, you're just holding on to lottery tickets, hoping you've got hit some gold. I'd rather have him than some of these wide receiver 4s and 5s that people have been holding on to. But it's like you said, it's Kyron's world.
Yeah. Now onto the Buffalo side.
I mean, Josh Allen to Josh Allen things. 10 carries, 82 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 through the air as well. First person in Super Bowl era to lose having this many. Or first team to lose having 6 touchdowns, no turnovers.
Blame Sean McDermott, though. Honestly, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Calling that timeout was pointless. Why? Just get every back up quickly, runs to the line. You can spike it. You still need to get the touchdown, or you can take the field goal at that point, because regardless, but, you had 4 chances with Josh Allen to get into the end zone on 4 passing plays. I trust Josh Allen to get at least once. 25% chance, I'll take Josh Allen.
Yeah. Between that and then also the holding call that he accepted. So it gave the Rams a third down. Sure, it was 10 yards, but they already had the lead. You needed the ball back. Just let him kick. Yeah, it was, Sean McDermott. There's the coaching blunders. The joke about, hire some 12-year-old kid that plays Madden to help you out with time clock stuff.
Seriously. They need to have somebody on the sideline, kind of tapping the shoulder, hey, don't do that.
Hey, guy, I got you right here.
Yeah.
Boop, boop. Because we saw several blunders. The 49ers were a part of a blunder, but luckily it wasn't them this week. The Bears just absolutely just doo-dooed in their britches. We lost the coaching narrative. That just went out the window. But Odunze showed up with 2 touchdowns. It's about time.
When in Rome, baby.
It's about time. Hey, it wasn't built in a day. That's what I hear.
It was not.
Built over 14
let's start with San Francisco. Brock Purdy, great game, 300-plus yards, 2 touchdowns. Isaac Guerrero, for all those who spent the fab for 50, whatever you had left, you are so excited. 78 yards, 50 yards on the receiving end, 2 touchdowns. Is this guy going to be a league winner?
He did suffer a foot sprain, so we're still waiting on information on that. Hopefully he's good to go. But yeah, if he's good to go, absolutely, 100%. It looks like we got another bit of magic there in San Francisco.
Another league winner too from a waiver wire. This is kind of like the waiver wire year. Juwan Jennings, 7 receptions, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He was someone you picked up mid-season.
And who'd have thunk? How do we miss the number 1 receiver for the Niners? How did we just let him not go drafted? We were taking 3 other receivers before this guy. What are we thinking, folks?
Dude, are you starting Debo in the playoffs?
Nope. He's been benched the last 2 weeks. I think that's where he's going to be sitting. If I don't pick up Blake Corum and dropping him, to get that lottery ticket running back.
Yeah.
And then the last little bit we had here, the Seahawks, they took control of the Cardinals, took control of the division. They're now 8-5. Cards are 6-7, 6-7 Niners, and then
You like some fine wine of Chardonnay. That dude, talk about, everybody, like, JJ Zachariason obviously had a huge amount of stock with him in best ball. That was his most drafted player. And of course, it's right before you go into the playoffs for best ball. 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. I was so pissed. They started Geno in a few of my leagues. So I was in Bayern-Mageddon. Oh, I was so mad when I saw him just break it off.
right, and then you still had 7 catches too for 59 yards as well. Absolutely crushing it there, Charbonnet. So I'm not hoping Kenneth Walker is going to be hurt for the rest of it, but as a heavy bag owner of Charbonnet over Walker, yeah, I'm cool with this right now.
And are we putting the flag of JSN is now the best receiver in Seattle?
Looks like it. DK has found the bench in the last couple of weeks. I mean, he was 4 for 49, so it's not going to kill you. But
Yeah, wide
without
receiver
bye
three numbers.
weeks, yeah, but without bye weeks going into next week, he might hurt you if you play him. So we've got a lot of decisions to make this coming week.
Yeah, and then the last thing I'll have is Marvin Harrison. Just are you benching him now? He's just
Dude,
been
what
very
up?
meh.
I mean, him and Neighbors going into it, it's like so scary to see like these hot rookies that we had just so much hype for going into the playoffs. We don't have confidence to start them. I
Yeah,
don't know. I still think I'm going to play Harrison just for the upside, but just like DK, just like a lot of these guys, Debo, where are they? Where are the receivers this year?
yeah.
All right, next up, let's talk about. I mean, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because there wasn't a whole lot of action here. But the Chiefs and the Chargers. Didn't we say it on this show? Chiefs win on a walk-off field goal. Like, come on. That's just how it is. It's the fun of betting at this point. If they're going to give us a storyline, we're going to write it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I think a lot of people like to compare this team to the 2022 Vikings, which is like, I can understand, like, they've won games they shouldn't have, they've like come back, but like, the difference between the 2022 Vikings and this team is that Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback and it's not Kirk Cousins. So, like, are we really going to bet against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs? Like, I still can't, and I will not do that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's a different situation for the Vikings this year and that year. It was it's fluky. I'm not saying they're not a good team. They're well coached. They've got pretty good pieces there, but this is the team this is how they just do it. They got the experience. They've been running like this and it works for them. So, are we setting us up for some cool heartbreak this playoffs? Yeah, absolutely. I think the Chiefs, their numbers finally might get rung in the playoffs. I'm hoping so, just for some fun. But no, I think this Chiefs team, it's still legit. Defense isn't as great as last year, but it's still awesome. They run the crap out of the ball, and of course, you've got the best quarterback in the league on the team.
Hey, Brian, remember when I was like, hey, it'd be really cool if the Chargers would have drafted Malik Neighbors? You just imagine if he would have played in this game and not have to depend on Quentin Johnson and Josh Palmer because Ladd's injured because he's not meant to be a one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Chargers right now. Hey, could you imagine if they would have traded for Deontay Johnson instead of the
I
freaking Ravens?
would have just swapped draft picks is all they asked for. Like, crazy. Uh, um, the only Chargers news I really have is that, like, obviously JK's gonna miss the fantasy playoffs. Um, Kamani Vidal is the guy I want to own. I get it, Gus at the touchdown, but like Kamani looked so much better than Gus Edwards, and I really hope they lean towards Vidal for these playoffs instead of Gus Edwards. Because Gus is bad.
Yeah, 10 for 36. Got the touchdown to save the day if you did play him, but 10 for 36, that's about what you're going to expect from him.
Yeah.
Alrighty here. We talked about those Vikings, how fluky they were. They weren't a fluke this week. They took care of business when Kirk came to town. Poor Kirk. Like he's done, right? We're sticking a fork in him.
Dude, like I had a bunch of overs on him, like over passing touchdowns, like everything, and like I don't get it. That interception to the DB where he caught it with one hand was just like the chef's kiss for the rest of it. Like they're 6-7. I think you need to really consider. You drafted Penix for a reason. Clearly, I don't know. I guess they wanted him as a safe backup. If Kirk went bad, Kirk's going bad. Michael Penix. It's not like he's this like raw rookie. He's a seasoned college player. He's almost. I think he's 24 years old.
I think
Like
he's older
at
than
this
that.
point, yeah. Again, like I think I think you gotta like, what difference are you gonna get like from Penix to Kirk Cousins? Like, Kirk Cousins is a lot slower right now. He clearly is not mobile, even in the pocket.
We haven't seen a touchdown from Kirk Cousins' hands since week 9. Week 9.
Yeah,
Multi-touch or multi-interception games last two. I mean, that's not even doing it justice. Multi-touchdown or interceptions last two games. You're like, oh, he's probably got like 2 and 3. He's got 2 and 4. 6. 6.
yeah. He's at like what, like 13 picks in the past 4 weeks, or like 11 or something crazy like that.
It's bad. It's really
Yeah,
bad. I was rooting for him. I was really hoping that at least we could have one solid run in Atlanta, and then next year we have the controversy. Next year we get all
yeah.
that fun talk. But like, absolutely, this is. Oh man, just traded for him in
But
Dynasty a couple weeks ago, hoping that I could get just a little super flex
a
work
little
from him.
juice.
A little bit
Yeah,
of juice. That's all I need.
yeah. Dude, are the Vikings legit? Like, are we talking about them like as a good NFC team? Like, I know, like you and I were like it'll be a bounce in the first round. Like, I don't think many of the teams want to play the Vikings. Like, Bucks versus Vikings, I'm gonna take the Vikings probably. Vikings
Yeah,
versus Seahawks, I'm gonna take the Vikings.
I was gonna say I think they could get depending on where their matchups are. I think they can easily get that first win, getting into that second round. But it's gonna take a really good matchup for them, I think, to get to the NFC Championship. And it's so hard to go against the Eagles right now. I mean, I had the little blunder against the Panthers, but the Panthers are
Yeah.
against the Chiefs too. So maybe, I guess, yeah. Real quick, let's hit the Eagles and Panthers. Are the Panthers just playing a lot better than they were, or do the Eagles have chinks in their chain just like the Chiefs do?
I mean, Bryce Young outplayed Jalen Hurts in this game. Bryce Young threw a game-winning touchdown to Xavier Legette, and he just happened to just bobble, like, have it touch the ground. Like, the Panthers should have beat the Eagles in this game.
Well, Leggett, I'm pretty sure the Eagles money line, so he couldn't have caught that. That's just we weren't doing that.
I mean, dude, like, Jalen Hurts is going to be fantasy relevant just because you know how many times Saquon's been stopped at the 1 yard line this year?
Too many to
Do you
count.
want to take a gander?
Oh,
Just take a guess.
9.
14.
Holy crap!
Remember last year, like DeAndre Swift was stopped at like the 1 yard line like 10 times. Like, oh, that's some regression going to happen. Nope. No, there's no regression.
Jeez. Yeah, it's yeah. Jalen Hurts rushing touchdowns. He's got 13 this year. He had 15
Yeah.
last year, and he's got 4 more games to go. So
Yeah. Saquon getting over 100 yards. He's at 124. His line was at 114. Easiest prop bet. I'll keep slamming at the over
hmm
until the rest of the season. They for sure want him to get to 2,000 yards. They for sure want that Eric Dickerson record.
Could you imagine you take half of Hurts's touchdowns and put him on Saquon? You give Saquon another 7 touchdowns on the season,
Oh my God.
and
I
that's
like he's RB1. He's third overall in fantasy, just like in overall points. He's the number 3 overall fantasy. So he'd be, I mean, like I think Josh Allen and Lamar would be tough to chase, but like that's crazy numbers.
yeah. Let's take 7 of those touchdowns or 6 of those touchdowns, give them to Saquon, and the other 7 let's give it to AJ Brown because AJ Brown the first 3 weeks had 22 points per game. Since then he's at 12 points per game.
Did you hear his post game conference
Uh, n-
comments?
uh-uh.
He said we need to figure out this passing game.
Yeah, we do. I'm right there with him. I'm in full support. I'm in full
Uh,
freaking support.
yeah, 4 receptions, 43 yards. You're still starting him. Like you have no choice. Like
Oh,
what other options
100%.
you have?
Yeah.
Like, are you really going to lean elsewhere? Like, but I want to talk about a guy who might win you the fantasy playoffs. Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen might win people fantasy playoffs.
God.
All I heard was Quinion, Guantanamo Bay, Cooper DeJean locking him up, 9 catches, 102 yards. He's kind of good.
I mean, when you've got I mean, he's a spring chicken, that Adam Thielen. How could he not be going out there and crushing it? Unreal.
Yeah,
Vikings, what do y'all
addicted
do?
to the gym. Yeah,
Last little bit here as far as the games. I mean, we threw it out here as the option. Like Jags jagged up here, getting the win against Tennessee. They're both now at 3 wins. Jags went from 1 to 5.
I mean they don't need a quarterback, but it would have been nice to get like a
The
a, a
capital.
ransom. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been nice for them to get a ransom. Um, hey Brian, remember like we were like sitting here and telling everybody, yeah, like Will Levis, you could start him. Remember that?
No.
No.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do because I played way too much league.
Remember?
Ten to
I was
six
just
that
like,
game was.
yeah, terrible. Will Levis missed a wide open touchdown to win the game too. I don't know if you saw that at the end of it. Dude was
Mm.
just like standing there, just like I'm here, and just overthrows him by like a mile.
I mean, we did talk about the shortcomings too against like this was a great matchup against the Jags and Nick Westbrook Akine. I mean, the streak, 8 touchdowns in 8 games. It's finally it's done.
He almost had it.
Oh, I know he did. It would have been his second catch of the game on his second target. He was 1 for 2, 19 yards. So that's not surprise. That's not
Yeah,
surprising. Calvin Ridley 7 for 12, 59 yards. You're gonna play Calvin Ridley through the playoffs. Like Will Levis has a
yeah,
soft schedule. He may not have performed well in those, but like you got to keep playing him.
yeah.
Brian Thomas Jr. Look at him, 8 for 12,
Stud.
86, hitting that
QB
over.
proof. QB proof.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
We had some questionable games there for a bit where he's wide receiver 59 and 75 there in weeks 9 and 10. But
Hey, so are we gonna go? Are we cutting ETN and just it's Tank Bigsby time?
you haven't already? Come on. Come on.
I mean, he's on my bench. He's not starting, that's for sure.
I
So
guess I didn't draft a single piece of ETN, so I didn't really have to worry about making that decision. But I've been full on the hey, get rid of him if you have to. I have no problem with it.
fair enough.
So at this point, the standings would be Vegas at 1.
Shitter
The
Sanders,
yep, Giants at 2.
Cam Ward.
Patriots at 3.
They
Travis
might be
Hunter.
intrigued by Travis Hunter and or McMillan from Arizona. Getting Drake May a wide receiver might be the
I mean,
best
they've
thing they
got
need to
quite
do
a bit
for
of
him.
capital in it. You think like T. Higgins or one of those guys?
Yeah, I think well, T Higgins is going to be one of the most sought after free agents. Like the Chargers should be in on him. You know, a few teams should be on him. Carolina should too.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know why they didn't trade for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Carolina's going to be at 4. Jacksonville's at 5 at this point. Tennessee at 6. Giants at 7. Or, I'm sorry, the Jets at 7. Oh boy, the drama continues with them. And then you got Cleveland at 8. Like, are they going to be in the realm for like? Are they going to draft quarterback here?
It's pretty slim pickings after. I mean, in my opinion, like what Jackson Dart. I'm trying to think of like Quinn Ewers. Like his draft capital has just gone to the crap. Carson Beck sucks. So like I really don't know what QBs are really want. Like Penn State quarterback, he was pretty good. He had a pretty good game against Oregon this weekend. So maybe who
And we
knows?
had what 6 go in the first 12 picks last year.
Yeah, I don't see that happening this year.
I didn't see it happening this year though either. I will say that. So, yeah,
Mm,
definitely not as good of a class or highest prospects. For sure. I think there's
yeah,
3-ish guys that are looking somewhere in the top this year. You got New Orleans at 11, Dallas at 12, Miami at 13, and then Indy at 14.
give me the
Look at
tight end
that.
from Penn State. Give me the tight end from Penn State.
Give me Brock Bowers. I'm still pouting over that.
Yeah, I am. I'll forever pout over that too.
As far as injuries, kind of wrap it up here with some injuries, some winners, some losers on the week. Derek Carr, I guess he's week to week. We got some sort of broken hand,
Super
left hand
weird.
issue.
Yeah, Rizzy said that there could be a chance Carr could start despite not practicing, but he's got a broken hand in his non-throwing hand, so I just feel like that's just asking for trouble.
And you're 5-8. You're not playing for anything.
You want to
Rizzy's
cut him
already,
too at the end of the year, like
yeah.
right? Like you like
And
start over.
Rizzy's won 3 games. I think he's proven the point. Like, hey, I should be a head coaching candidate if that's what he's trying to prove. But like, get the foot off the gas, man. Get it off.
Yeah.
What other injuries do we have here?
So Romeo Dobbs is still in concussion protocol, that's kind of alarming. Um, there's like, well, Jaden Reed, like are you gonna start him next week after that dud?
I mean, you have to. You have like, I mean, I'm still playing him over Debo. Like
Yeah, I
he's
would
not
too.
in that bad of a situation, but it's hard,
Sunday
especially
Night
with
Football
Dobbs
next
being
week.
out. Especially with Dobbs
Yeah.
being out, like how do you not play him? He gave you 20
Oh
points
yeah.
2 weeks ago, but it's been single digits every week since week 9. Outside of that lone week, it's
And then
rough.
really bad news for pretty much anybody for Dynasty who took him as the first overall running back. Jonathan Brooks is out because he re-tore his ACL, the same one in college. So, like, where are you at with, like, Chuba? Is like, how much more now is like next year? He's gonna be a fringe RB, like, what, he'll be a top 15 RB because, like, he always produces a top 15 RB.
I think he might be even closer to top 12 as far as ADP
Yeah,
goes. Just with the security that they're not going to go out and draft anybody. They'll add somebody to the
nope.
backfield, but it'll be a middling to nothing. If anything, keep Miles Sanders, something weird, just some poor player like
Yeah,
that.
something that just like, yeah,
They have no reason to replace him. They just paid him, so Chuba should be exactly what he was this year, and I'll pay top dollar for that. Especially with Bryce Young playing better, this team could be decent next year. We're talking 6 wins, maybe
I think
5.
more.
Well, let's not get crazy there. Let's
Uh,
be.
uh,
I gotta see what else is floating out there. But yeah, absolutely. I
uh,
think this team coaching candidate looks like it worked out. He looks like
yeah.
he's fitting well in there, and I don't know if like Tepper's gone the Ursay way, and he's just like mellowed out with some of that mellow. I don't know, but he's keeping his nose out of it. Big, huge hit for Brooks though. Like Dynasty, you got to hold on.
Yeah.
Like, would you just sell him for whatever you can get, or are you just holding on for year
Second round
3?
pick would be like, you can, second round pick, he's yours.
Yeah, just get what you can. I feel you.
Yeah.
AOC, bone bruise in his knee, not ruled out yet for Monday Night Football. We thought maybe we would miss him, and it'd be. Do we really want to go to what's a Rattler? No, Ritter.
Ritter.
Yeah,
And then it's you know who their backup is right now behind Ritter?
no
It's
idea.
Gus Bradley's son.
What?
Yeah, I swear he's their third string. Well, now he's their second string if he can't play. It's Gus Bradley's son.
Wild.
Yeah,
His dad should go to Vegas and coach him.
great. Leave. Bye.
So yeah. Any other substantial injuries I'm
Yeah,
looking at?
Todd Bowles said that, Bucky Irving's back tightened up in the game, so that was cool. Played a quarter and some change, and then decided to dip out. And so everybody started Rashad White. Good for you. I'm
Yeah,
so
Rachaad
pissed.
White looks like he's going to be a great fill-in if Bucky misses time.
Yeah, and then really, really sad news. Really sad news. My boy George Pickens is dealing with a grade 2 hamstring strain. It typically takes about 2 weeks, so uh, just sad.
He'll be back in time for the game against Kansas City, where everybody wants to start him there in the championship game, coming off a hamstring. Isn't that great? Isn't that
I'm still
great?
starting him.
I
I
know
call me
you are.
crazy. I'm still start.
I know
I'm
you
gonna put him as my wide receiver one. Watch me.
are. Let's get off a depressing state. Let's talk about some winners here. Puka, we touched on.
Dude.
Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson both had over 132 yards. Addison had 133. Addison with 3 touchdowns. Jefferson with 2. What a day.
Yeah, can I tell you a team that I played in one of my team? I'm
Ooh.
gonna make. I was guaranteed, like, I think almost a second bye, but now I'm not. I'm like the fifth or sixth seed 'cause I just got my ass smacked. I faced Jared Goff, Zach Charbonnet. This guy started Tyler Algier because he was on a bye week hell. Cooper Cup, Justin Jefferson, David Njoku, Adam Thielen, Darnell Mooney. He put up 220 points on me. It was ass to belt treatment. That's what I had against me. Yeah.
Wow, that's
So
a
for all those that you got who got their pee slapped, I'm right there with you in one of my leagues. Like, I watched it after the first. I was like, I have no chance.
Oh, on to next week. On to next week. Tyreek Hill
Yeah,
finally got over that 100 yard mark. Got a touchdown as well. Funny as hell, Jonnu Smith did nothing in
I
regulation.
know.
44 yards and a touchdown in overtime.
Saved my
What the
day.
hell?
Saved my day. I was just sitting there, just like, come on, Johnny, please do something. Funny news on Tyreek Hill. He now has the same amount of touchdowns as he had kids this year. 5.
That's wild. Good for him.
Yeah,
Good for
good for
him.
him.
It's a lot of stockings to stuff and this Christmas. John Jennings touched on him, 2 touchdown day. Devontae Adams over 100 with a touchdown. Did you see? Good for you, Mr. Aaron Rodgers. First 300-yard game since 2021. We are
I
flipping the
saw
calendar to
that.
2025, folks, in just a mere weeks. Jalen McMillan showed out with 2 touchdowns, 59 yards.
Yeah, because everyone started him this week.
Right. You had Jalen Waddle down there, 99 yards, not too shabby. Darnell Mooney, 142. Cooper Kupp, 92 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Running backs, I mean, Josh Jacobs, 3 touchdowns against, on Thursday night. Three
Yeah.
touchdowns, 88 yards. James Conner, I mean, he had 90 yards rushing, 30 on the ground. Still feeling confident about
Soft
him going
day.
forward? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I for sure was kind of like saying he's going to miss a couple weeks. He's healthy as a horse. So kudos to all those James Conner owners.
And the last guy I want to touch on here is, I mean, just as almost as heartbreaking as Neighbors, except you just didn't have to pay as much. Tyrone Tracy. We've got 2 great rookies. I'm super excited for Tracy going into next year. Hopefully they don't
I am
screw it
too.
up and add too much. But 16 carries, 45 yards, touchdown. Caught 5 of his 10 targets for 38 yards. This guy would be a machine if this team was just a little better. Say if they picked up like Daniel Jones, if they would have picked him up off free agency and played him, this team might be just functionable.
Yeah, so some stats for Tyron Tracy. He played 82% of the snaps in week 14. Just the second time he's reached the 80% mark. He ran routes on 71% of the team's drop back to season high, target share of 21%, 89% running back rush share. Like they're starting to realize there's something there with him. And
Would they get him fifth, sixth round?
fifth round, yeah, got him late.
Yeah, one of my last picks in best ball. I don't think I'll be getting that next year.
Yeah. Nope. Him and J.K. Dobbins are like the guys I took super late, and I'm so excited. And my advance rate for best ball is at like 12%.
Yeah, it's not great. Actually, there's a couple tournaments
Not
I
great,
did pretty
Bob.
good,
Mm,
but most of them, yeah, it's pretty shit.
yeah.
Well, let's get out of here. Brendan, where can folks find you if they're looking for more information or some help with their start sets this playoffs?
You can find me on X at FFAMBmilk, tweeting about how sad I am about George Pickens. And then you can find me on the Facebook group page for Fantasy Football Advice Network, answering all your redraft and dynasty questions there.
Yep, you find me on X. It's at too much _ Brian. It's at too much Brian everywhere else. If you're looking for more information from us, we'll be going live every Tuesday. Well, just a couple more Tuesdays, but 3:30 Eastern time. We've got some waiver wire help, and then of course shows on Wednesday and Thursday to help you out with your questions. We got to get out of here though, so we'll see y'all later.